Does doTERRA fund the APRC? Although it's legally independent from doTERRA, the overlapping. All right, so this is the first time I've ever tried this. I'm curious what ChatGPT knows and if they know what I know, especially considering that some of the things that were announced before ChatGPT have been erased already. So I'm asking them, whatever ChatGPT is. I'm curious what you know. I assume you know what doTERRA is. Am I right? So they do. Okay. All right. Let me know if you're looking into doTERRA. I'm actually going to ask this a really good question. And that is, tell me everything you know about the APRC. So the APRC is the Aromatic Plant Research Center, and it is the lab that doTERRA claims is, oh no, it misunderstood. It's the lab that doTERRA claims is their third-party testing lab where they get their essential oils tested for, purity. Which is it really? Third party or is it funded by doTERRA? I'm talking about the Aromatic Plant Research Center. So I guess there's a different APRC that he thought I was talking about. And I like how ChatGPT can really get information that is not always easy to search for. They're looking on doTERRA. doTERRA site is a leading independent. Founded in Utah, was established by Aaron Sorensen and okay, yeah, he's the one that does GCMS reports. I want you to note who the actual source is. doTERRA, APRC, APRC, APRC. APRC. Okay. Well, it's Research Aromatica Platform, APRC. Okay. I've been told by doTERRA reps, because that's what I was told when I was a rep, that it is truly a third party. Can you find information that says otherwise? I was kind of hoping that they'd be able to see that. Oh. While APRC indeed is a separate, okay, oh yes, I love how it knows about Dr. Pappas. Okay. The Aromatic Plant Research Center is often presented by doTERRA reps as an independent third-party laboratory. While APRC is indeed a separate legal entity, its close ties with doTERRA raise questions about the extent of its independence. APRC is a privately held LLC founded by Aaron and Dr. Satal. Dr. Satal previously collaborated with Dr. Robert S. Pappas, a former contractor for doTERRA, before establishing APRC. This history indicates professional relationship with doTERRA prior to APRC's inception. APRC provides testing services for various clients, like who? Including doTERRA, because they always keep it vague. We have other clients. Critics argue that the close professional connections and business dealings between APRC and doTERRA. I feel like it's not really finding what I wanted to find. Okay, so if I want to upload a document, a photo of Dr. Pappas' post about this situation. So can you summarize for me? I'm curious if it realizes that Dr. Robert S. Pappas is the person who's speaking. Okay, so summary of the Facebook post by Dr. Robert S. Pappas, Central University, August 16th. Central University has not done analysis of any reports for doTERRA since March 2017. Dr. Satal, whose signature appeared on past Central University reports, used to work with them. He learned much about the analysis under Dr. Robert S. Pappas when doTERRA and EOU ended their partnership. Okay. So doTERRA and EOU had a partnership and it ended. Prahad joined doTERRA as a chemist. According to Pappas, he is still employed there and doing well. Dr. Pappas claimed that ClearSage analyst report was altered. Okay, Anyways, he emphasizes that EOU never gave doTERRA or anyone permission to rebrand its analysis. Okay, so that just has to do. So this post cast doubt of the true independence of the APRC, then called ARC. Okay, that's what I was wondering. From doTERRA, suggests that there may be overlapping personnel and branding confusion, especially since Sital, I don't know how to say his name, EOU's former analysis is employed by doTERRA and connected to the APRC. Would you like help verifying Sital's current affiliations or digging further into the APRC's organizational structure? Yes, please. Take your time to do a further investigation. I'm curious. Sometimes I think it's helpful to let ChatGPT know to take its time when you want to really look into something. I have some other receipts that I'd like to share with ChatGPT. Certainly, here's a comprehensive overview of the relationship between ARPC. Focus. There he is. And remember that this is the lab, the third-party lab that analyzed a bunch of essential oils from a bunch of different companies, accusing a lot of companies, a lot of reputable companies of being adulterated. Okay, which is really controversial. And check out my other video if you want to look into that and hear more details. So he is the Chief Executive Officer at APRC. He's the head of Essential Oil Science at doTERRA. Similarly, okay, holds. Oh, I didn't know he holds a prominent position at doTERRA, or he held. That's dated from 2020. So you can see that he has dual roles, both as the Chief Scientific Officer at APRC, Aromatic Plant Research Center, which is considered to be doTERRA's third-party lab, not supposed to be tied with them because they're supposed to be third-party lab. That's what reps will tell other reps and clients. And then he's also the head of essential oil science at doTERRA. So simultaneously, Dr. Sital holds a prominent position at doTERRA overseeing essential oil research and quality assurance. That's interesting. So he's employed by doTERRA. And this source is actually doTERRA, so that's very interesting. I want to check that out. Okay. I never saw this. He's the head of essential oil scientists. I'm guessing that's a paid position. But anyways, that's very interesting. Very interesting. And then there's Aaron. I believe is he the one that started APRC? Anyways. So APRC's services and clientele. APRC is a privately held LLC claiming to operate independently with research funded internally through contracts with various clients. That's the APRC. doTERRA is a major client. doTERRA publicly acknowledges its partnership with APRC for essential oil testing. I'm very interested in, I've seen, okay, how do I say this? Sometimes when we have online posts, online resources, I've seen them eventually get deleted or, asked to be taken down when it exposes things that aren't supporting this idea. However, what I like about books is that they can't be taken down. And I saw this one book acknowledge and thanking doTERRA for funding the APRC or something. I'm just wondering. So and you can check out my video if you want to check that out. I'll link it in the description. So does doTERRA fund the APRC? Although it's legally independent from doTERRA, the overlapping leadership roles and substantial business engagement suggest a level of affiliation that may influence perceptions of APRC's objectivity. Therefore, while APRC operates as a separate entity, its independence in practice, especially concerning doTERRA, is subject to scrutiny, of course. There is no public documentation explicitly stating that doTERRA directly funds the Aromatic Plant Research Center. However, based on publicly available information, we draw strong inferences from the relationship. So if you want to pause and read, feel free to pause and read. So there's the leadership overlap, right? So Dr. Sital is CSO at APRC, but also former employee and key scientific advisor at doTERRA. doTERRA acknowledges APRC as a partner. I mean, they go to their conventions, which is pretty interesting. What the APRC's website says, privately owned, various clients, always really vague, various clients. And I've heard someone contact them and then they said names of clients that they've had or that they've tested their oils. But when you go to those companies' websites, the GCMS report is done by another company. They do not disclose their client list, of course, or exact sources of funding, but the absence of transparency plus the prominence of doTERRA in their ecosystem creates reasonable doubt about their complete independence. Conclusion: no explicit public records that doTERRA funds APRC in the sense of ownership or formal investment, but doTERRA contacts APRC for testing and research, which likely contributes to a substantial portion of APRC's income. Combined with shared personnel, this makes truly third-party independence questionable, even if the legal structure is separate. All right, so I'm looking at the description of my other video. I believe there's this book that cited the APRC as like being funded. So the authors are grateful to doTERRA International for financial support of the APRC. Like I said, this is why I love books. Because usually people don't change don't change things that like information that they want to remove. Because like I said, on the internet, people get contacted, asked to remove different, things that reveal things sometimes. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to check this out. Would you like help drafting a response or explanation for a conversation where someone insists the APRC is a fully not yet. Can you take a look at this? I think they can look at links. I'm curious why ChatGPT is going to respond. I think they can go specifically to that. It looks like there's an error accessing. Specifically the page you linked, page 1 there, and you search the phrase good for doTERRA suggest acknowledgement. Yeah. Here's what you can do manually. Scroll the page, look for that. I'm going to copy and then I'm going to paste it. This is what I saw. I'm going to see what they say about this. Thank you for sharing the screenshot. It's very telling. Page 130, acknowledgement section. The authors are grateful to doTERRA International for financial support of the APRC. What this means, confirmed. doTERRA financially supports APRC. This directly contradicts the claims that APRC operates as a fully independent third-party lab. While APRC may be a separate legal entity, this kind of financial sponsorship creates a clear conflict of interest, especially where APRC's work is cited in validating the purity and testing of doTERRA's essential oils. Interesting. Also noted, the funding sponsor, doTERRA International, played no role in preparation or in the decision to publish this review. This disclaimer attempts to mitigate the perceived bias, but financial ties alone can compromise or influence scientific independence, especially in commercial research. Again, this is the lab that accused a lot of legit essential oil companies of having adulterated essential oils. Bottom line, APRC receives funding from doTERRA, as acknowledged in a peer-reviewed scientific publication. I love the little icons. Dr. Satal, co-founder of APRC, also works with doTERRA or has worked for doTERRA. Next, doTERRA uses APRC in its marketing as a third-party verification lab. So while the APRC may not be owned by doTERRA, it cannot credibly be considered fully independent, especially if its financial stability is linked to doTERRA's continued support. Would you like crafting a diplomatic response or explanation for when others bring up APRC's neutrality? Yes, please. Please cite your sources too. This is very interesting. I love how it just compiles all the information and stuff. And I don't hate doTERRA. I don't hate it. I like their oils. I use them sometimes. I don't personally pay for them because they're kind of expensive because you have to pay like the people in between and the business structure. But I am not a fan of, I guess, a lack of transparency or dishonesty. So that's why I am creating this video. Okay. I don't want people to think that I hate doTERRA. I don't hate doTERRA. I use their oils. I use other essential oil brands as well. I have my favorites. I avoid fake essential oils, of course. Adulterated essential oils, I'll avoid them. But yeah, here it is for those who would like to see a quick overview of what contradicts the whole idea of it be truly third party. And I like this. I like that it finds this information and puts it together like that. And this is the first time that I've talked to ChatGPT about things like this. So it's really cool. Historical concerns about report rebranding. Okay, yeah. Feel free to pause and read. I love how ChatGPT offers fun things like that. So it's creating a shorter social media friendly version too. I probably won't post it because I don't want to create issues on my Instagram, but I will possibly post this video publicly just so that people can, do their own research and have access to, transparent transparent information. Okay, so oh, I love this. I love how it's so, I love how they source everything. I might actually put this in the description of my post. Anyways, I hope this helps anyone who is truly questioning things. This is not to attack anyone or anything. It's just to raise awareness because I think everyone is entitled to information, to be able to question things, and to do their own research. If you want to check out my playlist on how to spot fake essential oils so that you can avoid them, feel free to check this playlist here.